This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, all. I hope all are able to hear me and all are able to see my screen. So, today is the last session for Power BI service, and we are left with a few more topics. As I mentioned, these are not important at all, but as we need to cover, I'm just covering that. So, first three or four classes are very, very important. We just need to take care of that. Okay. Now, once you open a workspace, you have an option called new item. So whenever you click on a new item, it is showcasing a lot of items here, but that is categorized into different sections, visualize the data, get data, store data, prepare data, analyze and train data, track data. You have a lot of options are there, like it is in combination with a fabric. As we have a multiple services are there, everything was fitted here. But for now, like we are focusing on a visualization part in Power BI service. We already know what do you mean by a report, what is a dashboard. Page netted report is report builder based reports, and then after real time dashboard is nothing but with real time streaming data we are going to create. So we just need to take care and look into a concept called scorecard. That scorecard and metrics here are almost the same. So whenever you click on a scorecard, like you are going to see a window here, and here what you are going to do is similar to what we have here. Monitor. There is a concept called monitor on the other day that we observed. So what we did was we monitored like all that data sets refresh status from here across all the workspaces. Similarly, if you want to monitor the key KPIs at that time, you can have a metrics window. Under metrics, this is the screen which is going to contain all the scorecards that you created. So as of now, like I'm just deleting whatever we have here. So metrics is a screen which is going to contain all the scorecards that you have. Scorecards are a data driven collaborative way to track the key business goals, which is nothing but the key KPIs or key measures from different reports or data sets or workspaces will be added here, and we can monitor everything from this single screen. Now, at this point of time, we don't have any scorecard created here, and you can create a new scorecard here. Click on new, and whenever you click on a new, like you are able to see that some new input box came, and you can verify or you can enter the data here, and you can configure your scorecard. Here I am mentioning that number of books I am referring, and enter a value. You can mention either from a manual value, let's assume 5. The final target is 10. Status not started. I want to track this one till January 30. Click on save. So you can provide your actual value and your target value till when you wanted to track. You can mention. But this whatever I mentioned 5 comma 10, these are the static values, and I can make them dynamic by selecting, instead of selecting a manual, let's connect it to the data, and I can connect to my data set. Click on next, and you can observe as part of my report I have one of the KPI called number of books, count of books. I can connect that, click on connect. So now automatically it taken the value from my data set. Your target can be a manual input or a target can be a value from your data. Again, you can have, if you have a target value as part of any measure, you can add it. Then after you can mention and you can save it. So whenever your data set is refreshed, automatically these values will get updated and these statuses will change, like on track, not started, completed. These will change automatically. So I created a one KPI here, and I want to create another KPI also, another another scorecard also, or another goal also here, new goal. And I am mentioning that the other data set that I have, the sales amount. And here again, connect to a data. And let me check whether I have mm, security might have the data set. So on that day we didn't create anything, but anyway, sum of sales I taken. This is the current value, 118.73 million. The target I am just mentioning it as a 10,000. And or you can mention a target KPI, and you can mention like based on your interest, like you can specify the status here, or you can set a rule here, condition. A condition is nothing but it is kind of a conditional formatting that we configured on the other day. If the value is greater than this value, then you can mention the percentage of a target and add another condition. So like that you can specify the conditions here. And if these conditions are not met, you can mention not started. So now I just mentioned my target is 10,000 and clicking on a save. So it is saying that like this value is more than the target it is showing. So from a single screen, you can configure your multiple goals, like how we configured alerts in the last class. And this we can configure for a subscription, so that you are going to get a mail with all the key KPIs. That is what a scorecard is, and you can give your own name for your scorecard, and that will be available under metrics. Under metrics, you are going to have a scorecard. A scorecard is going to contain a multiple goals, and you can mention your actual value and a target value, and that you can configure as a subscription. So that is all we have at new. Then after, once upon a time, for a workspace, we cannot have a folder inside that. But recently, after like before 6 months or 8 months back, there is a new feature released, which is nothing but a new folder. Within your workspace, you can organize your reports and dashboard under a different folders. Like you can have a separate folder for data sets, you can have a separate folder for your dashboard, you can have a separate folder for your reports. And once that, let's assume I'm mentioning that just class as a folder. Once I created that, then after, like I can go to my data set. There is an option called move to. I can select my folder, and my data set was moved there. Or I can select a report and I can click on move to, and I can select a class and I can click there, so that my objects are moved to a respective folder. So once upon a time, Within a workspace, we cannot create any folder. Only this is one of the recent feature, like where you can create a folders and we can organize your files. That is what a new folder. Uploading, where by using a browse we uploaded our report and we published that like files. Similarly, from SharePoint or OneDrive also, if you have any files, you can upload here. And then after, like we observed a search here, this search is a global across our workspaces. This search is specific to a workspace. Then after, you can filter whatever you want based on the number of objects that you have, you can filter. And then after, list view or a lineage view, we observed this one. At the same time, like update app is nothing but, like for a workspace, we can create a single app. And once the app is created, if you still wanted to upload or update any one of the reports or dashboards, you can click on update app. What do you mean by that one is, like let's assume that you have three reports, two dashboards are there, and you published this one through an app. So the users who is accessing that app, they can access the five files. But let's assume, as a developer, you published one more report here, report number 4. That will not automatically available in the app. What app going to contain is whatever the whatever the reports or dashboards which are added at the time of app creation, those only will be available here. Whatever the new reports or dashboards that you created, whatever the enhancements that you made on these reports, that will not be available to the app. You need to manually you need to manually update the app so that the changes will be added to the app. That is what an update app. So whenever you click on update app, so if you make the changes for all the existing reports or dashboards in the app, means straight away you can go and update. But if you are added a new reports or dashboards, means at that time you need to click on add content. Then after, you need to select, and then after you need to update. So that is what an update app is. Manage access is nothing but, if you want to provide the access to your team members, not users, your team members. At that time, manage access, you are going to do, click on add people, and you need to provide email ID, and you are going to select a role. What kind of role that you want to provide, you need to select it. That is all about a manage access. And workspace settings, like these are admin level settings, you can ignore that. So you no need to worry at all. And then after, unpublish app, let's assume you wanted to delete the app whatever you created. Then unpublish app you can make, so that again you are going to see an option called create an app. So these are the options that you have at a workspace level. Then after, in the top you have a notifications. So if someone shared something with you, or if you are admin for your workspace, if someone published anything, or your alerts or notifications will come here in the top. Similar to Facebook, in the top, if someone commented on your photo, or if someone liked, how you are going to get a notification in Power BI also, you are going to get like notification here. So that is what notifications. Then after, settings, you have a lot of settings are here, like general settings, notifications, item settings, developer settings, resource extensions. Let's go slow by one. First of all, instead of going here manually, what I will do is let's go to workspaces, and then after go to any data set and click on settings, because these settings, whatever we have at a data set level, report level, dashboard level, we are not covered. So let's start from here. So whenever you click on settings, you got a window like this, and here you have app settings, data flow settings, report settings, workbook settings, semantic models, dashboards, general. You are able to see all these things. Even in the top, if you observe, whatever you have, most of them it will cover. We'll cover here and we'll go there. So now, as I mentioned, go into workspace settings. Now, so first I will start from a general only. In the general settings, what you can observe here is, first of all, like if you don't want to continue your subscription account, because subscription per month $10 I mentioned, from a April to 2025 the rate is going to increase. Let's assume you are that admin or you are the owner and you don't want a Power BI account anymore, you can close the account. Otherwise every month $10 it is going to cost. Help your dataset owners by sharing a questions you ask about their data. Like a Q&A at a dashboard level, you will observe what language that you want to see your Power BI service. You can select any language from here. So by default, English it will open. But if you want to see this one in a different language, you can open this one. Notifications, like whatever that subscriptions that we have on this workspace, that is available here. If you want to delete or disable, you can do that one. ಅದೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗುವ ಏదో ಇಶ್ಯೂ ఉంది ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ರೀಸೆಟ್ చేసి so whatever the subscriptions that you configure here, that will be available here. If you want to disable or hide, you can do that one. Power BI alerts is nothing but whatever the alerts that you configured yet your dashboard level in the last class, whatever I explained, that is available here. And similarly, settings, send an email digest of updates to my frequents and content viewed by organization. Send me a notification on the latest activity in Power BI. Send me a reminder when someone shares an item with me. So these are all the notifications, whatever you are going to get here. Like what kind of notifications that you want. If you want to see here, you can select this one here. Then after item settings is nothing but there is a one map called ArcGIS. So you want to use it or not, you can enable or disable from here. Developer settings is nothing but as a developer you can develop Power BI visuals also, and if you want to have that environment you can enable, so that you are going to get one more visual called developer mode. So these are the options that we have in that first list. Like first list is nothing but general. Under general we have this one. Then after you have a dashboard level settings. In a dashboard level settings, you have a two settings are there. One is show the QA search box. The next one is turn on tile flow. I am enabling both, which is nothing but like you can go to workspace again, and then after open any one of the dashboard. Uh, Open that dashboard. Whenever you open a dashboard, you are able to see something here. Ask a question. Ask a question about your data. If you don't want to see this one, you can disable there. Similarly, if I keep this visual here, that automatically adjusted. Observe here, that automatically getting adjusted. So these two things you can configure with the help of the settings window that we have there. So I'm going here, settings, dashboard level settings. Now for a gateway demo, I am removing these two things and apply. For security also, I am removing this one and apply. Now I am going to that workspace. Now gateway demo. Observe here, you are unable to see that search box. Similarly, if I place this one here, it is available here only. If I place this one here, it is available here only. Previously, what happened? It is automatically adjusted to that top, or here it was adjusted. But now, wherever we move this one, there only it is fixing that. That is what dashboard tile flow. So test DNA settings. That is what dashboard tile flow automatically tile flow automatically aligns your content to the canvas. So automatically adjust means you need to enable. If not, remove. If you don't want to see QA means you can disable. So these are the settings that you have at a dashboard. So the settings that you have at a semantic model is like here gateway configuration. You can select gateway configuration. We already configured this one. Then after data source credentials, some scenarios we don't require a gateway when we are using a cloud data sources. You don't require a gateway for a cloud based data sources. At that time, you need to provide credentials here. But as we configured a gateway and we added a source from gateway, it is not asking for credentials, but generally you are going to do here. Next one is a parameters. A parameter is nothing but whatever we configured at a power query. In power query there is a concept called parameters where we changed that the country name, city name. So those parameters, if you configure at a Power BI desktop, those will be displayed here. So you can modify here and perform a refresh so that the parameterized data you can see from the report. Query catching is nothing but cache, which is nothing but storing the data. And if you want to on the query catching to improve the dashboard performance, you can click on and click on apply. Refresh is nothing but a scheduled refresh we already discussed. A server settings is nothing but like it is the setting related to this workspace And whenever we are trying to access this workspace from third party applications, we can use this one. So all the connection string information related to that specific data set we have here. Data connections, disconnect some items from data sources if it is edited by anyone who doesn't have a permission, so you can ignore that. Q&A, so if you want to enable a Q&A, you can use it. Q&A is nothing but user is going to write a question, visual automatically going to get created, that we are going to see tomorrow. Featured key questions, which is nothing but you can already write some questions there, so that that will be displayed to the user on a drop down, and you can select it. Then after endorsement and discovery, if you want to give this data set for other users for report creation, you can enable it. Request access, if someone requested access, that will be available here. And large semantic model for storage format is that whenever you are having a huge amount of data, this will be enabled, so that it will compress the data and it will store it. So then after query scale out, isolate refresh operations from a query processing and automatically distribute queries across a multiple, which is nothing but whenever you have a huge amount of data, instead of refreshing this one at the time of scheduled refresh, automatically schedule this one, so that whenever we query, it is already refreshed and load the data faster. For that, if you want to enable, you can enable it. So one lake, all these things are related to fabric. And if you want to give some profile pic for your semantic model, you can give this one. And external sharing, and if you want to share your data set with external users outside of your tenant, you can enable this one. These are the options that you have at a data set level. Workbook is nothing but if you load any Excel files as part of your Power BI workspace, that will be available here. And whatever the reports that you created, that will be available here. And then after data flows, if you create any data flow, that will be available here. We created a one data flow that is used like this gateway connection. And if you want to perform a scheduled refresh for your data flow also, you can do that one from here. When you want to schedule, and app, whatever the apps that you created, we can create only one app. So if whatever the app that you created, that will be available here, to whom you want to share, that you can observe from here. So these are the settings which are available at a data set, or a report, or a dashboard, or a app, or a subscription, or alert. Whatever you created, everything can be monitored from settings window. So that is what you have, the general, the first page, whatever you have. Then after notifications, the second screen that you have, item, ArcGIS, like these four only. Whatever you have here in the first screen, four tabs, those are available here as this one. There are then after manage group settings, group storage, which is nothing but each data set, how much, like a volume, a data set volume it is occupied. If you want to observe, you can observe from here. Okay, per data set you can have a 10 GB of a data. Per data set you can have a 10 GB of data. You can observe each data set how much of space that you have. Then after that is what manage group storage. Then after Power BI settings, Power BI settings is nothing but the dashboard and security, these settings we observed. And then after manage gateway connections, and whatever the gateways that we configured, that will be available here, and whatever the sources that we configured available here, and you can track that. Then after then after, like manage connections and gateways, you can observe from here. So I'm stopping here. Whatever the option, three or four options that are available here, along with the remaining three screens, we'll see tomorrow. And we are going to observe few of the Power BI premium features tomorrow. Okay, so as I mentioned, Power BI premium is a next level of a Power BI service. What is a Power BI premium? How do you identify a data set is premium enabled or not? If data set is enabled with a premium, what are the advantages that you are going to see? Everything we are going to see tomorrow, and we are going to close Power BI service and premium by tomorrow. So I'm stopping here. This video will be uploaded soon, and Naresh will integrate. Anyone has
Hi,
anything to?
Srini.
Yes.